pressure. Peachy B the one to bless ya, but don't test her. The queen reigns supreme, you know what I mean? Add the boy Breezie, Prince, like a king. When the two come together in any weather, they form a bond, stay tight in any measure. So it's my pleasure, the number one team. Let the world know what's your fantasy.
Don't Bother Me comes in striking hard. Lord have mercy. I was cracking up so bad I couldn't stop laughing.
So that's how you want to start the show. No hello. No how y'all day going.
Right.
You know, like he was like he waited all week for this. For this right here. All week. This is an all week wait. Listen, okay, what good news y'all got? Because once I drop Pitts, now he wants to catch the damn ball. He tried to like soften the blow though, but I dropped him for his teammate, probably Drake London. I'm sure who you picked up, who's more consistent. Listen, look, trust me, I understand. I do. And at the end of the day, Pitts is still a bottom tier tight end in the league. He's gonna have a good week. He did this last year. His best week was against the San Francisco 49ers, and then he dropped off the face of the planet.
And then that was it.
That was it. So listen, what's going on, man? Look, if it is what it is, cool. Oh, you got the other tight end, Johnson. Okay, all right. Look, it is what it is. Welcome to What's Your Fantasy? It's Breezie and Peachy. We are here because I don't even know why we're here. Fantasy football sucks. I was so hyped about fantasy football this year, Peachy.
Me too. I was so excited, and oh my God. I was just telling Breezie that we should play like funeral music because we lost so many important people in fantasy.
Just cue the pallbearer theme song for the Undertaker to come out and take away the bodies that we are losing. I mean, you got people going on IR this week. Stars going on IR. Listen, I promise we'll get to that. Right. Listen, welcome to What's Your Fantasy. We truly appreciate you guys for tuning in. All right, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe right here on the WayneBreezie channel. If you're new to the channel, first time watching, hit that subscribe button. All right, and don't forget to hit the like button on your way in. And if you really like what you do and you want to support the stream, support the channel, we got a lot of shows we're trying to put out, a lot of different content all across the board. NBA starting up soon, so Peachy and I will be doing an NBA show, all NBA, just like we do the all 32 NFL show. We're gonna do an all NBA show as well. Make sure you guys go ahead and join the BBC, the BB crew. All right, make sure you guys go ahead and do that. All right, we truly would appreciate it. Now listen, week 6 is on its way, and the teams that have the buys. Now this is the first thing we're going to tell you: Green Bay and the Pittsburgh Steelers have a bye. Speaking of Pittsburgh Steelers, I did not have them winning last week, but somehow they won last week, and I didn't have the Raiders winning, and somehow they won. So Green Bay lost, Steelers won, but those two teams are on a bye week. So make sure first thing you do, you check your lineups. If you got any of these players, you want to make sure you take them out. Peachy, I had Jordan Love, and he played to me his worst game on Monday Night Football. Mm-hmm. I dropped his ass so fast off of my team. He can go. That is the Jordan Love I was waiting for.
Yes.
That's the Jordan Love I thought we were gonna get.
Exactly. Absolutely. You know? That is definitely the Jordan Love that I was expecting. That's why I was talking about, like, at the beginning, like, I was so shocked at that Jordan Love, because this is the Jordan Love that I thought that we were gonna be getting right here. Lord have mercy.
Shocked me so much that I went and grabbed him in just about every league. I'm like, oh, I got a man, because I couldn't get CJ Stroud. I was like, oh, I could get a Jordan Love. Looks pretty good. Mm-hmm. And part of it's not his fault, right? Because he's missing Aaron Jones, and they got to go heavily on AJ Dillon, who's not typically a running back one.
Right.
But with Aaron Jones not being near, it's just not the same offense, right? It's not the same. He has some weapons. He has targets with Jaden Reed. He has Romeo Dobbs. He has Christian. Oh, my God. What's his name? What's the kid from North
Christian
Dakota?
Watson.
Christian Watson. Yep. I said his first name right.
Yeah, you said it right.
Every time I say Christian, I want to go Kirk. Like, that's the only Christian I can think of.
Right.
Right? But it's not. He's not the only Christian in the league.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, George Pickens is finally starting to heat up, and now he has a bye week, and so just be mindful of that. Peachy, this is the best news. Well, welcome back. Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Now, Austin Eckler, running back from the Los Angeles Chargers, told reporters he is 98% sure he's playing on Sunday Night Football against who, Peachy? Who they playing? Do you know?
Who got the Chargers playing?
The Dallas motherfucking stinking Cowboys.
Right.
Cowboys got back-to-back primetime. Wait, the Cowboys get Monday night? They get Sunday Night Football back-to-back? No. Maybe it's not Sunday night. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I'm right. I think I'm right. Anyway, they get the daggone Cowboys. Let me just double check. I was right. Nope. I could be wrong. Hold on. Hold your horses. Hold them up.
Though.
It's Monday night
football.
At the end of the day, it's still a night and it's still prime time.
It's still a prime time, back-to-back prime time game. Yes.
Now let's get prime back-to-back.
But, hey, Breezie, the thing is that I don't think that they expected that game to go the way that it was, that it went whenever it was first on the schedule.
Hey, you know what, though? The Chargers play on turf, right?
I believe so.
I wonder if the Cowboys will play better on turf.
The Chargers actually play on...
They play on the Rams Stadium. I thought that was turf.
Oh, yeah, turf. Yeah, my bad. You're right.
So I wonder if that changes up the game a little bit, if it makes it a little bit better for the Cowboys. The Cowboys are terrible in grass. You pointed that out.
Right. It better for them. Or they might as well kiss their season goodbye because they have a rough road ahead of them coming up.
Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. Listen, Miss Debbie says, happy winning Wednesday, Wayne and Crystal. Blessing to everyone joining today.
Deb.
Please remember to hit that like button. What's going on, Miss Debbie? What's going on, fam? I see you out there, man. Look, I'm happy Eckler is back. It's because of him. I've had to find running backs because I would have chose Christian McCaffrey, but obviously he was picked for before, so I went with Eckler because I just really feel like they're one and the same if they're healthy. But Eckler always, and I knew he has health issues every single season, and now I'm dealing with it. So pretty much, Austin Eckler was on the IR for the first 4 weeks of football, pretty much. I'm hoping he's healthy. I'm hoping he's back. And speaking of injuries, here we go, Peachy. This is where you just crush my spirit.
Yeah. There's quite a few that are out there that are important, actually. So some of the major standouts one would be like Devon Achane.
IR.
Hold on, wait. I think
So Devon Achane is going to the IR.
Yeah.
James Conner is going to the IR. Justin Jefferson's going to the IR. I'm just trying to think of some of the other ones that are going to the IR. And so the IR means they're going to be out for the next 4 weeks. The next 4 weeks. Oh my gosh, Anthony Richardson to the IR.
Yes.
Now Anthony Richardson's injury may be 4 to 8 weeks. If it's 4 to 8 weeks, let's say it's 8 weeks. If I'm you, I'm dropping him off my thing, and then I'm going to go ahead and just get a different quarterback because 8 weeks season's over.
The way that the Colts are talking, I think he's just going to be shelved for the rest of the season. Because I know that Gardner Minshew, which we'll get into him when we talk about the waiver wire, but they kind of like what they're seeing from Gardner. It seems to me like that with the 4 to 8 week thing or whatever, sounds to me like that they're probably just going to shelve him for the season and just call it because they're not going to, the Colts aren't going anywhere this year anyway. So there's no reason to like jeopardize, you know what I'm saying? Like putting him out there and him re-injuring that because that injury was back. Like, I watched it. I knew exactly what he did when he did it. And I'm like, wow. So, yeah, I think that he might be done. That's what I think.
At least they have a suffice backup because they looked pretty good out there when Gardner Minshew went out there. Like it's like they didn't skip really much of a beat on the offensive side. And I'm looking at these injuries and I probably like even with the injury to Devon Achane with the Dolphins, they still have Jeff Wilson Jr. coming back off the IR.
Yep.
They still have Raheem Mostert. So they're still going to be able to run the ball effectively. All right. But the most detrimental of the IR injuries, in my opinion, is going to be Justin Jefferson for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yep.
And, you know, like, I mean, I know they got other receivers. You might want to look at, but that's
Jefferson.
you might want to, you might want to look at getting Osborne, KJ Osborne, pick him up if you don't. Yeah, Addison is gone.
Yeah.
And so like that's gonna be, and so you know what, his injury hurts Kirk Cousins. It hurts.
Yeah.
They already didn't have a running game. I'm curious to know if they'll try to lean more on Alexander Madison now that Jefferson is no longer the focal point of the offense.
Well, losing Justin Jefferson, if you ask me, I think that changes the whole entire trajectory of the Vikings. So I don't know what they're planning on doing. But like Breezie said, KJ Osborne would be a really good one to pick up. He's probably out there floating around on the waiver wire somewhere. We have a waiver wire thing list, and he's on there too. That's really, if you can get him, that'd be great because they're gonna have to use him. As far as the running game, I mean, I would hope that that's what the Vikings would do, but I don't know. Anyway. So that was a huge loss for Jefferson. It really was.
And then you got James Conner over in Arizona. And so, we'll talk about who to pick up from there, but like James Conner was a big piece of their offense.
Yes.
And his running and catching ability out the backfield. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I promise we'll get to some of your questions a little bit later on the show. So I'll star them. So if you have questions, feel free to ask. We'll go ahead and star those. But listen, again, like, James Conner, running back, I'm curious to see if he's also going to be shelved. Because at some point, the Cardinals want to tank, right? Like they want to.
Yeah, they definitely want to.
Because like think about this, right? So like right now, Carolina Panthers are 0-5, right? So right now they got the first pick in the draft.
Yep.
So if Carolina sticks on this trajectory and not win and end up with the first pick, oh my gosh, they're going to get capital. I feel like they're all in on Bryce Young. Yeah. I think this will allow them to build. And so, if you are in that contention of getting that first pick, you better start losing.
Right. You need to start doing that. Javonte Williams, there was an update on him. Even though he practiced full, he plays on Thursday Night Football. Don't think that he's going to play. They don't think that he's going to be ready enough for, to play Thursday.
He's another one that can't stay healthy.
Right. But that's why you have McLaughlin, which we told you about on the last show, to pick up. So if he's still available, definitely get him because Sean Payton loves that kid, like loves him. So he definitely makes sure that he has the ball like a lot. So that's definitely what I would focus on. I believe that's it for the injuries, the major injuries. Oh, Amon-Ra St. Brown is back.
Thank gosh.
Yes. That was something else I forgot about. Yes, he is back. Thank goodness. Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm not sure. They haven't really said very much on him yet, so probably not.
Let's focus on that Thursday game because you're looking at the Thursday game. You got the Thursday night matchup. I mean, you got the Broncos and the Chiefs. Right? You got the 1-4 Broncos. Like, like who are you like? I'm really stickler on not playing certain players on Thursday night. Like it doesn't
Yes.
even matter. Like I don't care how good they are. For some reason, like the teams just don't genuinely play well. So you got the Broncos. Maybe the running back McLaughlin is the one. The
Right.
one player you would put in there because you're not really expecting him to do much, and he'll probably go out and have a great night. But it's Russell Wilson versus Patrick Mahomes. You start Patrick Mahomes, or do you not start Patrick Mahomes?
I have been burnt both ways, starting people and not starting people on Thursday night. Like
True
last Thursday, it was just last Thursday, right? That
I
Justin
got burnt.
Fields
Justin
just
Fields went to
completely.
work.
You know what I'm saying? Like
But
all
he's the
this.
only one, though. He's the only one that defied the
I
odds.
know.
He was the only one. Everybody
DJ
else.
Moore just blew it
51
out the
points.
water on Thursday night football, and like he was on my bench. Like I didn't even have him. Like I was just like, watching the way
So
Chicago
you crazy.
played.
You
It's
crazy.
crazy.
You crazy because Moore had the week before. That was my indicator saying, I don't care, put him in the lineup. Like, because the week before he had a big game where he was pushing up, and then on Thursday night,
I was
he
just
went to
nervous
work.
about Thursday night, and I had been burnt so many times that I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's fine.
so maybe that's just a dumb myth of ours.
I guess
When
it
you
is.
just need to play the best players available if you have them, Look, Justin Fields, I mean, like Peachy said, they turned up. They did not look back, and
Not at
they
all.
defied everything. But every Washington Commanders player sucked. So like the myth is good and it's not good. Like I was
Right.
and then what did I do? I started Brian Robinson like an idiot, and because the Washington Commanders and I picked up the Commanders defense, thinking that they would bring the pressure on Justin Fields, and it was a 0, right? And then because of the score, they didn't run the ball anymore.
Right.
Took me completely out of the game.
Yeah, my son was cussing so bad because he had Washington's defense as well because he was so mad. He's like, "How do you even get a -5?"
Right. Right. Now, looking at this matchup on Thursday night, Peachy, I'm curious, right? So the Broncos defense has given up 70 points this year in one game. Are you picking up the Chiefs defense?
Lord.
And starting, look for me, like the two. All right, so here we go. There's 3 defenses this week you must start. You ready? All right. Well, you know what? I'm jumping all over the show, and I don't really care. So here's the stardom, right? 3 defenses that I'm starting. Chiefs. Okay. Let me keep scrolling through my screen. Bear with me. With me, the bear. Here we go. Bills. And there's one more. And believe it or not, I'm going to say this, and y'all can slap me silly after, but the Raiders. I don't believe the Patriots will win any more games this year.
Oh no,
They
no,
who did the
they're
Patriots?
broken. The Patriots
Listen,
are broken.
The coach is broken. Like that.
Right.
That
The
whole,
coach.
New
The
England
coach
is
is
broken.
so broken that on Patriots radio or whatever, New England radio, whatever they call it, people were calling in. I guess they were asking, like, would Robert Kraft like force Belichick to resign?
It might be time.
And there was actually, like, the guys on the radio were like, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Like, people think that it is, but it's not. It's not out of the realm of possibility at all.
But can he do that? I don't think he can do that. Bill Belichick is the general manager of the team. I don't think he can do that. I just don't. I
don't know. Maybe Belichick might just mentally want to.
I don't think he's checked out yet, but the more he plays Mac Jones, the more checking out he's gonna end up. He's gonna end up in Arkham Asylum soon if he don't take out Mac Jones. I can tell you that.
The only
right
thing
now.
that I can think of is the reason why that they keep putting Mac out there, because they're saying that they still have belief in Mac Jones and that they're still going to roll with him for week 6. So my thing is, now, why would you roll with a quarterback that's playing that bad? Because maybe you want to tank for another quarterback.
And look what's happening, because we didn't even talk about when we were doing the injuries, we didn't even mention Giants quarterback
Oh
Daniel
yeah,
Jones.
Daniel Jones. I forgot about that one too.
Right?
Yes.
So Daniel Jones is out this week, and they're 1-4.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at some point, and it sucks because if you're 1-4 in fantasy, you still have a slim shot. Right? You still have a slim shot. You got to be on your squad, right? If you're 1-4 in fantasy. But when you're looking at these 1-4 teams, you got the Giants, you got the Patriots, you got the 0-5 Panthers, you got the Vikings, you got the Bears, who I think are super sold in on Justin Fields at this point. And then you got the Broncos. Those are your 1-4 teams. So whichever 1-4 team loses this week, it's clearly over, and you may not. You may have to do some general managing on your fantasy squads.
Yep.
So for those three defenses, though, I'm starting the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Bills. The Bills are playing the Giants, and every player from the New York Giants isn't playing except for Saquon Barkley.
Right. So, a little side note on Justin Fields. Chicago is letting him control a lot of the offense to work with the offensive coordinator. That's why DJ Moore of the last 2 games has been playing like that, because Fields basically had permission from the higher ups to go to the offensive coordinator and game plan. So that's why DJ Moore looks like he did. So the Bears are very optimistic that this is not a fluke. Like, this is just how this is going to go. So Fields and Moore are going to be probably good fantasy targets for a while because they are now in control.
Dang.
Right?
Let's go through the top 10 scores. Standard, we'll do standard, and then we'll just do full PPR, right? So standard, full PPR, top 10 scores. So if you have in a standard league, you don't get the points per catch, points per reception, excuse me. All right, these are your top 10. DJ Moore had 41, Jamar Chase 37.2, about damn time. Justin Fields with 33, Travis Etienne, who was a surprising shock for me, 32.4. Zach Moss was a surprising shock because I thought we would get more Jonathan Taylor, right?
Lordy.
Right?
Me too. I just threw him in my thing, knowing he to start. He was just going to go out there because he was talking about how he just had all this energy and he was just ready to go. And then they barely used him. And then the Colts come out and let people know that this next game that Taylor will have a lot more, time out there that he only had just a little bit. And I'm like, well, that would have been nice for them to let us know that they weren't going to do. But I guess you can't do that because of teams and stuff. Can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But fantasy wise, I lost the league because of that. Because Taylor barely even did anything last week.
Yeah, so for me, if I was able, let's say I got Jonathan Taylor and I was able to pick up Moss, I literally benched Moss. I didn't get rid of him. But I put him on the bench, and I started Jonathan Taylor. Now, if they are going to give Jonathan Taylor more reps, they're playing that Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Yeah. So, that's a divisional game.
I know.
So it's going to be tough, but I don't know. You can't. You don't want to put both of them in your lineup,
right? So
Moss had 31.5 points. God dang. Josh Allen 28.8. Excuse me, Jalen Hurts 28.3, Jared Goff 27.4, Nico Collins 26.4, and Ritter 26. Ritter is in the top 10. Desmond Ritter made the top 10. Desmond Ritter made the freaking top 10. Just want people to know, Desmond Ritter, Kyle Pitts. All right, when you go to PPR, Chase 52.2 points, Moore 49. ATN 36.4, Zach Moss 33.5, Fields 33, Tyreek Hill 32.1, Josh Allen 28.8. Breece Hall, what a surprise to see the Jets running back in there, 28.4. Jalen Hurts 29.3, and Adam Thielen 27.7. Those are your top 10 scoring leaders, standard and full PPR.
And I had went against the grain on Breece Hall because I was debating on starting him, and I left him on my bench. And here he goes, having a a day, of course.
What's going on, Diamond Dog Sports? Always like Brees Hall has been nothing all season long.
Right.
Nothing all season long. And so, like, let's do a couple questions because I see him out there before we get to the next segment.
Gotcha.
From Brosen Heil. He says, trade MT and Sutton for Garrett Wilson or DK or Jacoby Myers or Terry McLaurin or Zay Flowers. I gotta get who MT is.
Is it Michael Thomas?
Yeah. Okay.
That's the only MT I know is Michael Thomas.
Okay. So trade Michael Thomas and Cortland Sutton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm making this trade for any one of those dudes. Like, you watch Jacoby Myers have a great Monday night football game. Garrett Wilson, though, is just a big question mark for me. Like, I want to, but I just, if Zach Wilson, if Wilson and Wilson can get in sync, I'm for it. And
if
that's
they have turned the corner, if the Jets have turned the corner, and you can't really say they have because they played Denver, and it's not, so that's not a good measuring stick, whether the Jets have turned the corner or not. So you have to see, like what their game plan is, because it's definitely not. Like, it's definitely not not a defense that you can judge and say, oh yeah, no. The Jets aren't back. That has nothing to do with that. So I don't know.
I like DK Metcalf though.
Oh yeah.
And McLaurin, this just isn't the year. I remember at the beginning of the season, McLaurin was dealing with some weird injury, and he just doesn't look like himself. Yeah, like you can tell that toe is affecting him.
Yeah, it is. It's still bothering him. Yeah, you can.
Yeah. And then Zay Flowers. The rapport is just not there with him and Lamar Jackson yet. So, yeah, he's a dynamic rookie, but he might not even be the best rookie wide receiver in fantasy football right now.
Right.
And it's just because that rapport is not there.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? So, Jacoby Myers, too, is a weird thing, right? Because it's almost like is Jimmy Garoppolo going to continue to feed him the ball? Because that seems to be his go-to guy.
Yeah.
And Adams, you can tell, is pissed off because Adams wants the ball. I just don't see things being really nice offensively in Vegas.
No.
But if their defense plays the way they played the other night, it'll keep them in game. Yeah. So, yeah.
They literally, like, the Raiders is now going exactly like I thought it would. Jimmy is going to lean on,
7 interceptions, guys.
The other, his ex, people from New England. He's going to lean on those guys. And it started out being like Adams was going to be really, really, like just light up the fantasy board. But now Jimmy, is going to more of the safer thing, because anytime that Jimmy Garoppolo starts throwing interceptions, then that's when he, like, is more of a safe bet or whatever. So that's why he's, like, comfortable with, like, Jacoby, and I forgot the other one that's on that side over there too. And that's just going to happen. So I don't know. I have no idea. Things ain't right down there. And their defense looks pretty decent, but that's it. And Breezie's right. The Raiders defense is going to be good to start this week. I think they're going to have, I think that their defense might help them out there.
What's going on, Mike? Thanks for tuning in, bro. I hope I'm not playing him this week, so it won't matter, but he definitely took all the advice and whipped my tail by like 90 points. It was the most brutal butt whipping I've ever seen in my life. Rob Tucker, thanks for the question. He says, doesn't Chicago have Carolina's pick? Yes, you are correct. So Chicago has the actual first pick in the draft.
Oh, that's right.
Interesting. Well, they have Carolina's pick. So if Carolina, wow. So, yeah.
Yeah, but just like you said earlier, if Carolina stays on this trajectory, we have right
Carolina,
now.
Yeah. Like if I'm Carolina, I would try to change that and make them draft a little bit later. Just a little bit later. They could draft 2 instead of 1.
Something. Another major injury that I left off of there is Tank Dell from Houston.
How
He's out with the
majors?
concussion.
Okay, so he's in the concussion protocol.
Yeah, he's not playing this week.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think there's one more question I want to get to. All right, here we go from Crossed RL over on Twitch. What's going on, family? Would you trade Nico Collins for Derrick Henry? PG, would you trade Nico Collins for Derrick Henry?
Man, that's I don't know. That would depend on what other receivers do you have? Because it would depend on what other
Or what
receivers.
other running backs do you have? Like, what makes
I meant
you
running
want,
backs. Yeah,
What makes you want Derrick
Yeah.
Henry?
running backs. That's what
He's
I meant.
just he's not Derrick Henry. I'm watching Derrick Henry get tackled by little guys.
Right.
I've never seen that before in my life. Derrick Henry, little guys used to just bounce off of him, but that's not what it is right now. And so Nico, especially now, I wouldn't trade Nico Collins because if Peachy just said that Tank Dell's not playing this week,
Yeah,
you might want to make sure you put Nico Collins in your lineup. He's turning into like a wide receiver 1 in the NFL, right? And so like between him, Robert Woods, those guys are gonna have some catches. So we'll see. Because CJ Stroud to me last week didn't have his best game, but we'll see. Nico's gonna feast. I'm with you, Diamond Dog Sports.
Yep.
Like that. Yeah, I would keep Nico, but I have Derrick Henry in one of my leagues, and he is just underperforming week in and week out. And I'm at the point where I'm just ready to bench him. Like I'm ready to put him on the bench until I see some type of consistency from what the Tennessee Titans are trying to do. But I think it's about to be about the future with them. And if you can pick up Tajay Spears, you might want to go snatch him if he's available in your league. That's what I would do. So don't trade him. Go grab Tajay Spears off the waiver wire. Speaking of waiver wire, Peachy, let's get to the waiver wire.
Okay.
We got some picks that you want people to look out for. So go ahead and do your little. Ooh, look, you got Spears up there. How ironic.
Okay, so on the waiver wire, a big one is Roschon Johnson from Chicago. Another injury is Khalil Herbert.
Yes. But Roschon Johnson was injured last week.
Right, but Chicago says that he's playing.
Okay, because they ended up going with
That other, I can't remember his name. What is it?
Hightower, Deontay? I don't know. But they ended up going with a different running back.
Yeah, Keontae something or whatever. All of the running backs are actually banged up. But so on the waiver wire, we have Roschon Johnson, Chicago. Justice Hill from Baltimore. They're still going back and forth with their running backs. Amari DeMarcado from Arizona.
He'll be the number 1 probably.
Because of James Conner, the injury. And then Tajay Spears, of course, from Tennessee. Jeff Wilson Jr. from Miami, just like Breezie said, with Achane being out and Jeff Wilson's window opening and the possibility of him playing the next game, which is what's coming from Miami pages, that they're planning on getting him out there. He's definitely going to be available on a lot of waiver wires out there. Also in Chicago, Deontay Foreman. If you can't get Roschon Johnson, if he's gone, then get Foreman because Chicago's planning on splitting.
That's who I was talking about. That was the guy.
Got you.
Deontay Foreman.
And then Kendre Miller from the Saints. Kendre seems to be more involved in that offense, even with Kamara back. So if you can pick him up, that'd be a good one. Chuba Hubbard in Carolina, because you never know what's going on with Miles Sanders. The Panthers don't even know what's going on with Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders don't even know what's going on.
Right, Sanders don't even know what's going on with them. And then our very own Jordan Mason.
Oh.
Who looked dynamic against Dallas. And I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot more of Mason than people thought that we were going to.
Really?
Yep, I do for some reason. And then Josh Downs.
It's still all about CMC. Like,
well,
way
yeah, but
I feel like you'll see more of Mason is if it's a game that's a blowout, like we just saw.
Right.
So, like, if you're willing to settle for 6 points and things like that. Yeah, like because I don't think Mason's gonna rush for 100 yards. He won't get the volume to do it. Not saying he can't. He just won't get the
Yeah.
volume. So if you're cool with that, possibly a touchdown a game, cool. But I don't think he's getting the volume. So I would look at other running backs before I look at the 49er running backs. Now, if there's an injury to CMC, Mason is the guy because I don't think Elijah Mitchell's playing again.
And then Josh Downs from the Colts. There's gonna be several from the Colts.
I love him, but that's the one, right? That's
Yeah.
the one. That's the one. Like, get Downs. He's still available, and every week he performs. Every week.
Yep. So then after that, we have Rashee Rice from Kansas City.
Kansas City. It's another one.
Yeah, he's picking it up in Kansas City, kind of getting comfortable with Mahomes. So that's a good one. Josh Reynolds from Detroit. Already making a huge statement in
Big
Detroit
name.
already.
Big name.
Yep.
And with what's the name back, he'll be the one that's not like double covered.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly. Yep.
And he's the one that keeps the chains moving for them. That's a good one right there.
Logan Thomas from Washington.
Tight end. Good old
Yep,
Logan.
a tight end. He's starting to pick it up. And then we were talking about KJ Osborne earlier. Kadarius Toney.
He's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. He's, definitely. Curtis Samuel out of Washington. Quentin Johnson, of course, because of the injury to Mike Williams. Dalton Schultz is picking it up with Stroud. So then we have a couple of quarterbacks, Sam Howell, Baker Mayfield, Desmond Ridder. There's a defense, Jacksonville defense. DJ Chark, Josh Palmer, Jamison Williams, because he's back in Detroit, and Jaleel McLaughlin. That's the waiver wire. So there's a lot of great options out there on the waiver wire. And just because you pick up somebody off the waiver wire, like, does it mean that you have to start them right away? It just means that you're keeping them from somebody else, because a lot of these names, and you just got to find somewhere on your bench to kind of put, whatever you need, whatever position, that you're lacking in, that you need to pick somebody up. And especially if you have, one of the major injured players that you're going to put on IR, and you want to get like their backup, or, that's what you do with that. That's
why I was saying, like, don't go grab a Jordan Mason if your running back room is deep, because now what are you getting rid of to get a running back you're not going to use? So, like, yeah, you might want to play the defensive game and keep away, but then you're also going to be missing out on somebody that you can actually put in your lineup. So try to get the people that you feel like are going to get in. Like, these waiver wire picks, believe it or not, like, the majority of them will come in and perform. They're hot on the waiver wire for a reason. That means they caught the attention of everybody because they did something when their number was called. So, whether it's by default, like, I love the Roschon Johnson. I just hope that Chicago utilizes him over Foreman. Like, which one is it going to be? That's the game you're going to play. Keandre Miller, same thing. Like, thought he was going to be utilized before, what's his name? Kamara came back. They didn't really utilize him enough. They went with Jamal Williams, but since he's on the IR, those are the two running backs they're going to toggle with. So a lot of players you could pick up. Definitely check them all out if you have room. If you're lacking in an area, I still don't like Dalton Schultz. But he caught a touchdown the other day. So it's interesting. And beware of Sam Howell. He's on one game, off the next game, on one game, off the next game. Like, I don't know which one you're going to get. If he follows that trajectory, this might not be the week. Who are they playing? Who are the Commanders playing this week? They're playing the Falcons defense. Would you start Sam Howell against that secondary?
I'm not starting Sam Howell anymore, period.
Well, what if you have PG, one of those stupid super flex leagues? You know what I'm saying? And there ain't nobody available but him or Jimmy Garoppolo. Who you starting?
I think I would start Jimmy Garoppolo over Sam Howell. He made me too mad.
It's crazy because Sam Howell last week, right? He looked terrible for the first half. And because they were down by so many points, he had to keep throwing the ball.
And that happens sometimes.
But he was the number one quarterback, like, had the most yards in fantasy
because
football.
I was mad because he wasn't doing anything, and his points were like less, like they were almost minus. And then because they had no choice but to throw,
right?
Then he wound up being pretty decent because they were so far behind, that they had to throw to get back in the game. So that enabled him. And then the team kind of let off the other defense, kind of let off on him and stuff, too. So I don't know.
It's tough. I'm telling you, like, if you play in a super flex league like I do, I asked that question because I got Jimmy Garoppolo, but he looked so terrible.
God, it just
against Green Bay. And they got a good defense, right? They got a pretty good defense, but he just looked terrible. Like the interceptions, still throwing the linebackers, safeties, whatever. Like, I'm just like, come on, Jimmy. You've been doing the same thing consistently for the past several years.
I know.
Look, Ricky Ruiz, man, it says, hello, Niners faithful. From Springfield, Springfield, Massachusetts, president of the 413 Spartans. Welcome to the show, man. We appreciate it. Sorry, this isn't the All Niners show, but this is the fantasy football show. But thanks for tuning in. We got plenty of Niners stuff we talk about during the day as well. But thanks for tuning in. Diamond Dog Sports says, do you think TDP gets any work this season? And he finished last week with 6 carries for 20-something yards. So, like, he played a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? So he's in there. How much more work he'll get, I think that depends on how well the 49ers offense is continuing to move the ball to where they could rest a Christian McCaffrey and a Jordan Mason. Like, you could rest both of them. That's your 1-2 punch right there. So that, to me, will be his way of getting in. Leo, what's going on, man? I see that the Niner faithful is in the building. I love it so much, man.
Love it, too.
That's dope. Chiefs again. Looks the Chiefs. So they're getting back Nick Bolton. Oh, man, what an addition to their defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what an addition to their defense. And so he's like one of the best linebackers in the league. He ain't better than Fred Warner. But you get what I'm saying? Like, he's a key piece to their D.
Philly's getting back Nakobe Dean, too.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out. I mean, that's speed, man. God dang, more speed.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how it works because he light in the ass. So he might come out there and look like, what's the kid from Dallas? He might get hit and be back out. I'm just saying. Who Philly playing this week? Philly has they got the Jets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You could be right. Nakobe Dean. He could put a star by him. So they are getting him back. Or whatnot. And Jason Verrett signed to the Texans practice squad. I don't think that cat gonna end up on the roster anytime soon, but don't bother me. Thank you for the update. Leo has a question, Peachy. You ready?
Okay.
You think I should start Kittle or Pitts at tight end this week? I'm starting Ayuk. You got Debo, Kittle, and Ayuk, bro.
Lord.
I love it. And Olave is in my flex. Let me see. So here's a little tip, right? When you're putting players in your flex, make sure they're playing the later game. Just a little tip. Make sure it's the latest game out there. You want to put that in your flex, regardless of how many points it says that they're going to score. Make sure whichever player you put in your flex has the later start, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So Kittle or Pitts, I don't know, Peachy. Like, I would have been straight George Kittle, but he got 2 other wide receivers in his lineup. And I'm curious to know, Leo, what other wide receivers do you have? If you have Debo, Olave, and Ayuk, who else do you got? That's what I kind of want to know. Because I might not start Debo and Ayuk and maybe put Kittle in. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
What do you think? Like, who you starting, Kittle or Pitts? And before you answer that, again, the Falcons are playing. Hold on, bear with me. The Falcons are playing the Commanders, and they don't have any linebackers, so I kind of like that matchup. And then, we're playing the Browns.
I want to believe that Atlanta, the way they played, the way that they distributed the ball finally and got it out to the receivers and Pitts out there, and all just, I know everybody's gonna kill me for this. I would actually go with Pitts. That's exactly who I would I would start Pitts.
I kind of agree with you, please.
With Kittle, you just never know. It's like he had a huge game against Dallas, but Kittle, hasn't exactly, like, fantasy wise is what I'm saying, contributed too much this year. Like, that was the first game that he did. Kittle's gonna be one of those, that maybe, they might do this or whatever. I just have a feeling that this may not be a Kittle game with the Browns. I believe that it may be something else that we may focus on. So True. I would go with Pitts.
Yeah. No. Listen. I'm thinking about the Commanders. So the way I'm looking at this is the defenses that they're facing, right? And when I look at the Commanders, I watched them get mollywopped last week. And then when I look at the Browns, the last time they played, they lost 2, but their defense didn't skip a beat. So at the end of the day, like, will the 49ers need Kittle to block more? Opposed to they just have too many weapons. But the Falcons have too many weapons too. The question is, Kyle Pitts isn't a blocking tight end. He needs to go out there. So that's why I'm agreeing with Peachy. I would go with the one that's going to be utilized more as a weapon. The only thing is this: if there's a matchup that Brock Purdy sees, he's going to exploit it, and don't be mad at us if Kittle ends up with 3 touchdowns.
Because you just don't know. But Don't Bother Me is right on it. When he says Pitts, I think Kittle might have to help support the pass rush with his blocking this week.
Yes, and that's why I think I would go. Plus, you got Debo and IU.
Yes, right.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, That's. Oh no. And say who else? Oh, you got Ridley and you got to start Ridley. So Ridley, I might move Ridley in over Debo, and keep Ayuk out there. Go with Kyle Pitts and Olave in the flex. That's what I would do. What about you?
I agree with that.
Or Gabe. Like Gabe had a monstrous game, but they lost.
Now Buffalo, because they were overseas, right?
Yeah, they were in Jacksonville.
They
were in London.
That just has a weird. I don't know. The only team that can really win over there is Jacksonville.
Listen, they playing the Giants, Peachy. I'm starting Gabe, freaking Davis. Matter of fact, put Gabe Davis in there over. Wait. Saints are playing the Texans. Do you like that matchup? Because he talked about Olave. Will the Texans' defensive secondary be able to stop Olave? That's to be seen. Is Derek Carr back to being Derek Carr? All right.
I don't know about that because
exactly.
I mean, and that's another team.
Because 1 week Olave got me 0.6 points.
That's another team that manhandled the Patriots. Just like the Cowboys did the week before that. And the Saints came in and they blew them out. The Patriots didn't score a single point against them. But the Patriots are just so bad. Again, that's not a measuring stick to how, these players are playing. It's not a measuring stick to Carr. It's not a measuring stick to anyone because you can't judge off that game because the Patriots are so bad and they're missing so much on their defense.
Yeah, their whole defense has been depleted. That's
was
keeping them in their games, right?
Right.
They did get back, but he didn't play last week.
Exactly.
Yeah. So good point. But I did wanted to say that the Jaguars are playing the Colts. Colts have a pretty good secondary. So I would start Gabe Davis in the flex. Put Olave and Ayuk as your starters.
I like that.
Put Gabe Davis in the flex, Ayuk and as your starters, and Kyle Pitts as your tight end. Boom. That'd be a good lineup. Any other questions for starting line? I like that. I like the starting lineup questions.
Me too.
That's pretty cool. I'm still mad that Olave got me 0.6 points 1 week, but that's on Derek Carr. You got to get him the ball. Find a way to get Olave the ball.
Right.
He is a play freaking maker. Yeah. Period. Playmaker. Period.
He gets really agitated when that happens. When he does it.
Which wide receiver doesn't, PJ?
Right. That's a good point.
I watched Devontae Adams, Peachy, at the end of the This is how I know
The Raiders game.
Wait a minute, but this is how I know it'd be fake as F, right? So it'd be fake, right? So at the postseason, post game speech on TV, oh yeah, man, it's cool. We get to move the ball around. You know what I'm saying? And and it doesn't matter who gets it, and blah blah blah. And then they did the locker room speech,
right?
And he's like, "Look, I need the ball. Like I just need the ball." I'm like, "Wait a minute, bruh. Which one is it?" That's how I know Devontae Adams is mad, and he is not feeling Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, he's not. Because he was one of the biggest cheerleaders for Aiden O'Connell. It's like he wanted the youngster to start.
Good point.
He was one of the major ones that was, that was rooting for him, that was saying great things about him and all this stuff and everything like that. He was one of the main people.
All I know is I'm telling you to start the Raiders defense because the Raiders defense went hamburger and cheese on the Green Bay Packers. I just don't see how they won't do the same thing at home against the traveling New England Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
Their offense put up 0 points last week.
It is literally almost a rite of passage at this point that when you play the Patriots.
It's not fair, though, because like what happened?
You have to just, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's almost like a rite of passage that you have to just dismantle the Patriots because then just think about it, Breezie. If you're the team that either gets beat by the Patriots or the Patriots have like a good game, you're gonna be the one that's they're gonna post up on national TV. So
I haven't heard we haven't heard. First of all, I'm from the East Coast. I haven't heard any Patriot fans like they're hiding.
Oh, they're quiet. Yeah,
they're super quiet. There's like the quietness is crazy. It's almost scaring me around Halloween month, right? Like it's weird. But listen, 4-5 start. They're traveling to Vegas. Unless he benches Mac Jones, there's not a chance in hell they're beating the Raiders. And the Raiders don't even look that good.
Right. But it's,
Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. Who did he say? CMC and
Pacheco.
Pacheco's a weird running back in fantasy football. Just super weird.
Yes, he is.
He's projected to get a lot of points, especially in PPR leagues, because he can catch the ball. Mm-hmm. But if you're a Kansas City fan, where's the Chiefs guy? Like, Chiefs again. Y'all don't run the ball.
Right.
Why?
Another team that doesn't run the ball.
But why? Like you got Clyde Hilaire, you got
McKinnon.
Pacheco, you got McKinnon, like Peachy just said. Like, why not just run the ball? Like they won't. They will throw the ball 70 times a game.
That's right.
They've never done that, but my point is, why not just run the ball?
They do. They do throw it a whole lot, and I feel like that they should have a running game going because you have running backs. And the thing is that the Chiefs have all kinds of running backs because they have running backs that can catch out of the backfield. They have running backs that are just bruisers. They have running backs that can act just like a wide receiver. Like McKinnon, those few times that Mahomes has treated him like a receiver, it worked out good. I just don't understand, they always go away from running the ball.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
And then when they got a result to the pass, and then the defenses are playing pass, it's almost impossible for them to complete the passes because the defense is playing pass.
Because they know that they're not going to run the ball.
I'm not going to front, and I'm not a Kansas City Chiefs fan, but I do miss that offense. I miss what they used to be able to do, the play action passes, Mm-hmm. It made us watching, what's that, do we watch? Red Zone fun. Yep. It made it fun to watch. Yep. You know what I mean? But now all of a sudden, they're winning, but it's it's not
It's just
style.
flat. It's just flat. They're getting it done but it's just flat. It's just they can do more. That offense could be a lot more than it is. So,
Peachy, I want to do something new. We haven't done this at all, but I want you to give me a starting and sit for every position. Ready? So we're gonna go with the quarterback. Who is a must start this week? Who is the matchup that you want to see? And then we'll go quarterback. We'll go running back. We'll do the regular setup and lineup. All right. So let's do a start 'em, sit 'em. All right, Peachy. Who's a quarterback that you feel like is going to take advantage of the defense that they play?
So Justin Fields against the Vikings defense.
Oh, another bad defense. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I'm going Josh Allen against the Giants. He's just a must start. Who are we sitting?
Whatever quarterback plays for Cleveland.
Dang, that's messed up.
I mean, like,
don't even
Deshaun
pick
Watson,
that quarterback up.
PJ,
Yeah, don't even pick that quarterback up. Why not?
Right?
Ooh. Like if you have Bryce Young starting in your lineup for me, I know the Dolphins don't have a great defense. I just don't see Bryce Young tearing up this Dolphins defense. So that would be my sit quarterback.
Got you.
Running backs. Who you starting at the running back? Just give me one. Who's gonna have a field day?
Zach Moss against Jacksonville.
Damn, so you just said bump Jonathan Taylor and you go straight to Zach Moss. No, I ain't mad at you. That's what's up.
My eyes. That's what I've seen.
I love it. I'm trying to figure this out. I would have picked the running back from the Bills, but they don't know how to run the ball neither. Right. I'm gonna go Austin Eckler versus the Cowboys on Monday night.
Okay.
They couldn't stop the run from the San Francisco 49ers.
Right.
And
that's a good one. I like that.
I don't think that they're going to be able to stop Austin Eckler, and then you'll get to see the real Josh Kelly, right? The real Joshua Kelly, because he'll be spelling Eckler. He plays so much better when he's not the starting running back. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I would go with that. Wide receiver, you got to give me one. Who's your must wide receiver start matchup?
Oh, let's see.
Oh, we got tough ones, too.
Yeah. Wow.
I know. It's tough. Ooh. Okay, I got who I'm putting in. I got mine.
Okay, so I think I'm going to go with Quentin Johnson for Dallas.
Oh, you going with okay. I like it. I like it. Quentin Johnson, the rookie over Keenan Allen. You didn't put Keenan Allen in there? Woo. Quentin Johnson, the rookie wide receiver for the Chargers, right?
Yeah, because they're coming off a bye, and everything that I'm reading on the Charger pages, they like what Quentin is going to bring to this with Mike Will being out. So I think Quentin is going to get the ball a lot.
Let's hope so. Like, I feel like it may be another Keenan Allen day. I don't think.
I mean, I hope it is, because I'm still starting him in my lineup.
Oh, of course. But I just don't think the Cowboys' defense. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. For me, I'm going Cooper Kupp over the Cardinals. Dude just heating up. Had over 100 yards last week.
Yeah.
And you can tell he is ready to play football. It's a divisional game. I don't think the Cardinals have anybody on defense that can cover any wide receiver in the NFL. So I'm going to go with Cooper Kupp. And I know Puka Nacua is going to get his targets. He's going to get the catches and things like that. But, yeah, that's my guy. Tight end one. Who would be your tight end one? I know mine. You should know. We should have the same one. Oh, we got people talking junk out here in this chat. I like this. Ken James, George Play. I see y'all questions. We're going to get there. Ariel says Matthew Stafford's a must start against Arizona. That's funny because I just told you that I was going to take Cooper Kupp, and you put that in there. I love it.
So I'm going to
Let's see if we're on the same page.
I don't think so, because I think I'm gonna go out the box a little bit. I think Evan Ingram is gonna bounce back this week.
I freaking sure
against the
hope so.
Colts.
I don't know where he is this year, but he ain't it.
Right.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah. The Colts, they're yeah. Evan Ingram.
Listen, I'm getting word that Travis Kelce's going to play on Thursday night, and he's playing against the Broncos, and they can't cover or stop a nosebleed.
That's a great one. Yep, I'm
And,
definitely go with Kelce too.
This better be a good Thursday night game because I'm actually going to be home to watch it. And I'm hoping that Patrick Mahomes tears apart the AFC West rival and the Denver Broncos. So I'm going to go with Travis Kelce as my tight end one. All right, so let's keep it moving. Let's go through. Give me a kicker and a defense.
Okay. Ariel, that's a good one. Sam Laporta.
Yeah.
That actually is a good one right there.
They're playing the Bucks, though. It's a tough defense.
Right. Kicker, I'm going to go with Justin Tucker.
See, he ain't the same Tucker. Like, for some reason, and you know what? It's not just him. It's because that's the automatic. So you going with Justin Tucker, I'm going to go with the Bills kicker. No, I've changed my mind. I'm not going to go with the Bills kicker, Tyler Bass. I like that you said Justin Tucker. I need the Baltimore Ravens to start kicking field goals if they can't score touchdowns. Like, just kick the field goals.
Right.
Justin Tucker is still the damn best kicker in the league. So I know why you going Justin Tucker. It makes perfect sense. I see some questions in there. Moody's not a must start for me, TC12I. I actually I'm going to drop Moody in most of my leagues, and the reason why is because the Niners are scoring touchdowns. So if we score 8 touchdowns, you get 8 points. It might not be any field goals. It's just weird. It's weird. But we are on the road, and on the road is a little bit different game plan. So Moody could be a must start, but my must start kicker, I'm gonna tell you right now, ain't nobody thinking of him. He played for the Carolina Panthers. I said the Panthers were gonna lose, but I never said that the Panthers weren't gonna score, and their only scores may be field goals. His name is Eddie Pinheiro. That guy is kicking 50-plus yarders, and he can kick. Now, he ain't going to get the extra points, but he's going to get field goals. I would go with Eddie Pinheiro from the Carolina Panthers. That's a must start against the Dolphins because I can tell you right now, they might not get in the end zone, but they'll get to it. The Dolphins don't have a top defense in the league, all right? Defense, speaking of defense, let's do that, and then we'll end with some of these questions.
I'm sure that we're going to have the same defense.
Are we?
But it's Buffalo.
It's gotta be. Okay, you're picking Buffalo, and I love it. Sugar.
Are you gonna roll with your Raiders?
I hate the Raiders,
but you're gonna roll with them against New England because
New England put up 0 points
against the Saints defense. So the Raiders defense is better than the Saints defense.
I don't know if it's better. I think it's better in different levels, right?
Well, it might be. That's a good point.
I like the Raiders pass rush, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I like their linebackers or their secondary, but, the Saints got a pretty decent pass rush, too. They're just a little older. Look, they might be just damn near even. I'm going Raiders. I hate them, but I'm going Raiders. Bing win 0-2. I'm with you, bro. I'm going Raiders.
Now the only thing that I will say about Buffalo is, and that's why, like, when you told me to pick up the Raiders, like, I got the Raiders because Buffalo is injured. They got some significant injuries, and they actually have a new one that might be an issue. So where they're going to have to start, like, basically a baby out there. So that's going to be crazy, but it's still the Giants who are going to be missing about 12 starters.
Dang!
I mean, that list is so long of the players that are not, the starters that are not playing.
You said 12 ridiculous. Starters and possibly 13 because Darren Waller may not play?
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many, like their O-line, like almost their whole O-line.
Oh,
and you know what, Breezie?
If I'm Saquon Barkley, I'm making a business decision.
Right. So check this out. I think that it's more of the O-line's hurt feelings because they have been getting lambasted like everywhere than actual injuries.
That's a damn dope word. Lambasted. Like,
I think that it's more of hurt feelings and just not wanting to go through this right now because there's so many players on their O-line that are missing from this game.
Dang. Look, and no Daniel Jones. So that means
Right. No Daniel Jones.
Tyrod Taylor will be out there. He's gonna get hurt on the second play.
Right.
Like
it's just gonna be bad.
Play, he's gonna break a fingernail or something. Listen, George, play. Thank you for the start of Cinema. George play 01. I'm 5-0, and I'm gonna let you read this because he's 5-0, and I don't really want to read this.
He's now 5-0. My team is Tua, CMC, Kenneth Cup, Olave, Goddard, Flex James Cook. I have Fields on the bench. Should I trade Fields and Kenneth for Bijan?
You got to give up both of them to get Bijan?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
See, I like it because you're not going to use two quarterbacks. So I actually like this.
Well, what kind of league? Like, does he have the two quarterback thing?
Nah, he don't have flex, or he wouldn't be trying to, like, it's not a super flex. So that's why I like it, because you can give up Kenneth Walker, trade Fields, pick up another quarterback for your bye week, right? So you could pick up one off the waiver wire just for 1 week where you might lose. But you get Bijan Robinson to go with CMC, that's a motherfucking, that's cheating. That's cheating. 100%. And then his receivers are Cooper Kupp, who's back, and I'm sure he has other receivers on the bench, because who did you have before Cooper Kupp? Cooper Kupp just started playing, so I'm curious to know that. I think I pulled the trigger on this trade, Peachy, only because he's not going to start Tua and Fields at the same time, and you could get, I'm sure you can do 1 week with Jimmy Garoppolo, or Brock Purdy might be available for that 1 week, and the schedule gets easier for the Niners later on. So
that's a good point. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where I am with that. A&J Films. Trade CD and Kittle and Miami's defense for Stephon Diggs and Darren Waller and San Francisco's defense. Yeah, I'm doing this. I don't know about you, but I'm doing this. CeeDee Lamb ain't CeeDee Lamb. Kittle is a misfire each and every week, depending on how they use him. Miami defense suck. You're gonna get 20 plus points every week from Stephon Diggs.
Oh yeah, every week.
You ain't gonna get anything from Darren Waller, so you might want to go hit the waiver wire. Pick up Logan Thomas. He's available.
Yep.
All right, and then you get San Francisco's defense. I'm making this trade, Peachy. You making this trade?
Yeah, I'm definitely making this trade.
I'm making that trade. A&J.
CeeDee Lamb is not it. You actually have people that are even wondering about his football IQ, because that's what happens whenever you can't get open and do what you need to do and everything. They're saying that the Cowboys need to practice.
Dag.
Like the routes. Like,
they just need to shut up.
CeeDee Lamb was supposed to be, like a route runner, and apparently he's not running the routes. And so that's what happens whenever you get beat really bad like that. Then all the analysis comes out, and everybody wants to tell you like what you need to do. So
you know how it be. All high and VIP. Bing 102 YouTube YT. Start, sit, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 flex. Jacobs or Rachaad White. Jonathan Taylor. Jerome Ford.
Breece Hall.
Jamar Chase. Chris Godwin. Garrett Wilson. T. Higgins. Chris Olave. You got Chase and T. Higgins on the same team? Interesting. I mean, people got Ayuk and Debo.
Right.
So. There's one. Like I won't start. I wouldn't start Ford. The Niners just not gonna give up no points to no one.
No, we just don't do it. Yeah.
Unless he's a dope ass pass catching back out of the backfield, that's the only way he'll get yards. So Ford is crossed off the list for me. Which 2 running backs you starting though on this? So if we cross out Ford, Breece Hall, Jonathan Taylor, Jacobs, Josh Jacobs. Which 2 are you gonna start at the running back?
I would actually go with Jacobs. Would be one of mine.
Okay. So you pick Jacobs. I'm going with. I finally think the Jets figured out that they need to give the ball to Breece Hall and stop
I hope
playing
so.
around with their running backs. Like F. Michael Walker, Tom, whatever his damn name is. Bump him. Bump anybody else.
Right.
Bump Dalvin Cook. Just give the ball to Breece Hall.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Hall and Jacobs, I like that. Those will be our starting running backs. Let's pick our two receivers. I know you're going to go with Jamar Chase and Garrett Wilson. Those would be the two I would start.
Exactly. That's
And now we got to go to the flex. So this is where it gets interesting. It's got to be Chris Olave or Jonathan Taylor. I love putting running backs in my flex, but it's got to be one of those two for me.
I would put Taylor in there. The team's already said that they're going to bump up his reps. So I would put Taylor in there.
Right. Good point. I would go Jonathan Taylor because the team is definitely going to do what Peachy just said. They already mentioned it. So that would be our starting lineup. It would be Josh Jacobs. It would be Breece Hall. It would be Jamar Chase. It would be Garrett Wilson. And then it sucks that you're going to leave Olave out. But, I mean, I think you can live with it for 1 week because you want to take advantage of what Jonathan Taylor is going to be able to do. Week 2, coming back off of he's going to get utilized. I promise you. I promise you. One more question from Potobo. Hammer. Should I start Taylor?
That's the operative question.
I feel like confessions, and this is the hardest decision that I've ever had to do. I don't know. I don't
either. It's, oh God, it's so.
I don't know.
I don't either. I have
Somebody
no idea.
mentioned that they had both of them earlier on the show.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Just put both of them.
Put both of them in there.
Put one in the flex, one at the running back. Put Moss in the flex. Put Taylor as your running back. You're probably going to get at least 12 points from Taylor, but you might get 35 points from
right. Because Moss, boy, that dude.
That boy fast.
Yeah, he's
Wasn't
fast.
he? Didn't he used to play for the Bills?
I think
Where did
that's
Zach
he
Moss
came
come from, y'all? Look at Patabo. Look at his response, Peachy.
What?
Look at his response. I'm just saying, like it's the toughest. It's the toughest decision.
Yeah, he came from Buffalo.
Okay, damn it, Buffalo. I'm convinced that Buffalo last greatest running back was Thurman Thomas, and I'm gonna tell you why. They didn't even know how to use Marshawn Lynch. I'm gonna leave it at that.
That's
they
right.
just suck at running backs. They like a team, and they sucked at Thurman Thomas too. Like I ain't even going front. Like he was dope, and they didn't even utilize him right during the Jim Kelly days.
I just don't get it.
If you run the ball, it will open up the passing.
And there's a history in here for them not being able to utilize running backs. I mean, dang, a lot of running backs that came through there.
I'm telling you,
you're absolutely right about
that. And they go to other teams, and
yes,
please let James Cook go to a different team because y'all is not using him.
I have a feeling that he might wind up on another team too.
I hope so, man.
Free James Cook.
So. Free James Cook. Free James Cook. All right. So Mike says, Breezie, you called it last week. Fields or Purdy up against Coach Cruz this week. I think you got to stick with Justin Fields, man. Like, I think you stick with Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields for the rest of the season until his bye week, you stick with them. But you got two nice quarterbacks.
Yep.
Purdy during that bye week for the Chicago Bears is going to probably put up 3 to 4 touchdowns. I know he had his first 4 touchdown game last week, but didn't Justin Fields have a 3 to 4 touchdown game last week? Like you just gotta go.
Yeah.
You're right. He was a beast with the Bills. My bad. You're right, TC12I. I almost forgot about Shady McCoy because he's so fucking shady. Like, that's why. And he don't even claim the Bills. He only claims the Eagles.
Not at all.
You
Just
ever noticed that? They must have did him so dirty
Just
bad.
like I said, he has on green glasses every day.
Green. Couple
Billy
more
Green.
questions. You guys are smart because y'all ask these questions when we try and go. But I like it. Bingwin says, T-Law, who's that? Purdy or Watson at quarterback rest of the season?
That's Trevor Lawrence. Yeah.
Damn it. Y'all got to stop abbreviating. I don't know abbreviations. I didn't go to abbreviation school. I'm just messing with you. I hate Trevor Lawrence in fantasy football. I would go with Brock Purdy over all these dudes. Like, literally. At least you know he's going to be consistent. He's healthy. And, you know, he's not going to get you a bunch of yards, but you might end up with 4 touchdowns. You might end up with 5 touchdowns. He's going to get you a rushing touchdown. I'm just going with Brock Purdy for the rest of the season if I had to out of those quarterbacks. I got it now. I get it now. T-Law, y'all good with abbreviations. Y'all real good. I'm not. And then last but not least, is it Cole Kmet or Ferguson? Who should he start? Who you got, PG?
I can't tell how Dallas is using Ferguson, and it makes me mad because I thought that would be like a great get because
Jakey.
At first it looked like that he was doing something, but I'm not even sure Dallas knows what they're doing with and how they're distributing it out and whatever. And it may just be because they just are not able to connect on that. But I would actually go with Kmet.
Kmet's having his best season ever.
Which a lot of sites actually like Kmet. So I would go with Kmet.
Yeah,
I would not go with Ferguson. I don't know what Dallas is doing with him.
Well, I mean, against the Niners, it was a terrible matchup, right? But who is Justin Fields finding in the red zone?
Right. Kmet.
It's Kmet. And like that, so like those are touchdowns. Those are easy touchdowns.
Right, exactly.
Easy 6 points. It's Kmet for me all day. All day. Well, Peachy, this was a good show.
Yeah, it was great.
Very informational. And I just really love the questions. Guys, get your questions, the lineups each and every week. We go through the best and the worst of fantasy football, which we talked about the Patriots being the worst. Mac Jones had 0.6 points. I've never seen a quarterback with 0.6 points.
It was really bad.
It was terrible. And you guys know Jamar Chase killed it. They finally threw him the damn ball.
That's right.
They finally threw him the ball.
They said that Joe Burrow, Colin was talking about it on the herd. He said he thinks that Joe Burrow is all the way back, which is ironic because...
I don't know, Peachy. They got to play the Seahawks this week.
Well, but I'm talking about health-wise. Like, he's all the way back.
Oh, that's good. But I'm just saying, now he about to see that secondary and that... Ooh.
Yeah. Because at the beginning, like, before the season started, what did Jamar Chase say? I wouldn't be mad if he stayed out until week 5. That's what he said.
Wanted. That's what
and then all of a sudden, now he's. So I just found that really crazy that went down that way. But we'll see how they do against Seattle. Hopefully they'll do really well because I'm starting them.
Listen, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in to the What's Your Fantasy show. Listen, tomorrow, probably 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be the Madden Challenge. Now, listen, they have officially answered my call. EA Sports has tuned up Brock Purdy. EA Sports has tuned up Brock Purdy. I put out a tweet. I said, F it, it's time. I'm tired of Brock turning his back. I'm tired of Brock missing wide open throws. They have officially said on Twitter that they were tuning him up. He's getting a tune-up for next week. It's going to be official. Can't wait till tomorrow. All right, we're going to do the Madden Challenge. Guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. On behalf of myself and Crystal Peachy B, thank you for tuning in to What's Your Fantasy, baby? We out, man. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Hey, look. Ruining dreams under pressure. Peachy be the one to bless ya, but don't test her. The queen reigns supreme, you know what I mean? Add the boy Breezie, Prince, like a king. When the two come together in any weather, they form a bond, stay tight in any measure. So it's my pleasure. The #1 team, let the world know what's your fantasy.